Welcome Sunday morning. Backyard Professor Responds videos. Big day today. I've got my interview with Danny Sheehan coming up tonight, 6 o'clock. You don't want to miss it. He really brings out some interesting new analysis and information. However, I just run into Vinny's interview with Ross Coulthart on the Disclosure Team YouTube side. I'll leave a link in the description below this video. In my description area, I leave links to videos for you as I can and as I remember. And there are a couple of points that really strike me. And I've got some suggestions. I'm going to honestly try not to be hypocritical. Someone actually said I'm somewhat hypocritical at times, and I sincerely don't intend to be that. I'm passionate, and I'm trying to figure this all out, but boy. Anyway, let's take a listen to some very interesting points that Coulthart says in an interview. I actually like these private discussions, mine with Danny Sheehan and Vinny of Disclosure Team with Ross Coulthart better. Ross is he's less worried about performing and almost more informative in a way. And this is good. I'm very glad. Thank you for doing these. I would really like to get Ross Coulthart on my show as well, and someday I might. We'll see. I'd like to get Richard Dolan on my show. That would be a wonderful addition to sharing his incredibly interesting knowledge. Let's go to this.
Are you able to tell me if Jake has any, or the team, or anyone has provided you with any other sort of videos that aren't out in the public domain? Have you seen anything else?
I'm aware of other videos, yes. And I know that there is other video material, extensive video material, which I think has been offered and may indeed already have been provided to the Senate Intelligence Committee. And moreover to AARO. And this is the interesting thing, is AARO, the Pentagon's UFO investigation office, under Dr. Sean Kirkpatrick, was provided with a great deal of information and intelligence by Jake Barber and or one of his colleagues in a briefing. Actually, it was one of his colleagues. And mysteriously, all of that information that was provided to AARO at that time disappeared from AARO's files. And it wasn't until Jake Barber, after his friend had given the briefing to Dr. Sean Kirkpatrick, it wasn't until Jake Barber went to AARO after Kirkpatrick had left and spoke to the new director, Dr. John Kozlowski, and provided Kozlowski with the details of the information that was provided previously to AARO, that AARO itself realized that there was no longer information in its possession that had been provided to AARO previously. Someone had removed that information. No, don't know who, but bottom line is, AARO's job is to investigate UAPs. I can assure you, Dr. John Kozlowski fills me with a greater degree of confidence than his predecessor. And whilst his hands may be tied and the Defense Department might not want the rate of disclosure to be as fast as it appears to be becoming at the moment, I do get the impression that he's quite serious about investigating the phenomenon properly. And I know for a fact that he's asked to accompany the Skywatcher team when they do their next summoning.
Wow, that's encouraging.
So a couple of items that I think struck me particularly strong in this clip is the information was provided to AARO under Sean Kirkpatrick by Jake Barber, or one of his colleagues, someone who is associated with Jake Barber, and probably they both had the same share of information, and that information has disappeared. So under this new gentleman who was just put in, Kozlowski, Barber has again met with the office of AARO and the new guy and provided information, and they said, oh, wow, you provided this to us before and we don't have it. So there was some shady dealings, and we've all known that. The point I wish to make about the next point that Coulthart made is Jake Barber and his team of attempting to gather downed alien craft have become independent of the government. Now, I get it. Jake needs to keep his security clearances, so he can't name government agencies or aerospace entities, etc. There are some names that he can't reveal. I understand all of that. I'm not arguing about that whatsoever in any manner. Some secrets have to be kept. But now that Jake Barber is an independent researcher with an independent team, not under any government agency, why on earth would you have Arro get involved again when they have been the enemy for 80 years? The government, the secret military state, whatever you want to call them, there still is a them. And I cannot fathom for the life of me how Vinny says that's encouraging. That's terrifying. You just got away from the abusive husband, and now you're going to let him into your new apartment, your own private area? Arro, if they stay involved with Jake Barber, is going to confiscate everything they do. Why would that be encouraging? I sincerely, and I'm calm, I promise, I'm calm right now. I've already ranted and raved this out to my wife, and she's been trying to guide me through this and give me some pointers, because her wisdom on this is much better than mine. I'm far more passionate and energetic, but she's got the noodles here, you know. So why on earth would you keep letting the abusive husband come back in, or the abusive wife? There are men who get abused too. I'm I promise I'm not trying to be conspiracy minded, but there's been a conspiracy, just in case nobody knew that. Yeah, I hate to break the news to you, but yep, we've been lied to. Shock, right? So why would you keep the liar involved? Listen, I have a suggestion. Okay, now, and there are some people who have, in the comments to some of my earlier videos, on how I'm so miffed as to what is the holdup. We're in the middle of February, and I think it's 2 or 3 days down the road still, and we still don't see anything out of Jake Barber's team, when they claim they can summon these things at will. You would think they would be doing that on a daily basis for a year. They gave themselves a year window. Are they not utilizing every moment? You know, so, okay, so try not to be hypocritical, but with that claim, rather than you just got away from the abusive master, now you're on your own. What would be wrong? Why don't Jake Barber and his team invite the Tedesco brothers, who have really good equipment? Why don't they select a group of 200 of us YouTube content creators with our cameras to a couple of summonings over a week long period of time? That way you would have hundreds of cameras available. For my part, I would gladly participate, and I promise you don't have to pay me to come there. I will happily burn my own gas, get a plane ticket, whatever, depending on where we are, But if you could get 100 of the public who has the information, who has the equipment, and even another 100 who don't, so that you have for real public eyes on the sky, with the idea that with all of these hundreds of cameras on the sky with video recording equipment, etc., the Tedescos could bring in the radar aspect of this. I've got some infrared on a night vision binoculars. There's other people who have night vision binoculars. They have all kinds of infrared. They have all kinds of spectra analysis type equipment, etc. Why would you invite a government agency to your summoning when they will squelch you and they will confiscate all information? You sincerely, and I'm sorry I have to put it this way, the 80-year track record says do not trust government entities to do the research with you. It will never see the light of day. Now, and I've been told, well, Jake Barber and his team are already filthy rich. You know, I played on the idea that were you to do a summoning live even, and you were to actually demonstrate you can summon, and in fact invite these craft to land or whatever, and use to do this live and have some valid, really good video evidence, absolutely convincing, even Mick West would have to believe it. I mean, the real thing now. None of this goofy angle stuff. None of this quick 2 and 3 second fuzzy clips. No, let's get the actual craft. You would all become billionaires. And I've been told, well, see, you're kind of hypocritical here. Apparently, maybe it's not on this issue, but you know, they don't need the money. They're already millionaires. Okay, forget the money angle then. Forget the money angle. Are we interested in showing the reality of this and getting it to the public or not? Inviting government agencies into your private company to witness what you do is as butt-stinking stupid an idea as I have ever heard. Invite the public who have the equipment. I will volunteer. I know Richard Dolan would be fabulously interested in this. I know Danny Sheehan would be. I know Citizens for Disclosure and the New Paradigm Institute. How about Gary Nolan? Now, you've had him already, but how about all the rest of the YouTube content creators? How about having Ross Coulthart and Vinny and all of the other YouTube content creators show up and bring all of our own cameras? That way we can't miss it, and you have an enormous amount of eyewitness testimony, and then we could take all of our camera recording equipment and compare it with each other, and on the spot splice and dice all of the videos together in one unified video and give it all to us, and we can put it on our YouTube channels and make UFO history. Now, I know this gives the impression that I'm trying to ingratiate myself into this. I get that. Yeah. Well, the point is, I am, but not for the money. I'm telling you, if we want to get this out in public, what better way than to get the public involved, literally, with our camera equipment and telescopes and binoculars, etc., and let's have a welcome UFO setup, and everyone gets to walk away with the evidence and present it to the world. Now, I hope my bias doesn't come out, but I think this proposal is vastly superior to letting the government back into your private work. I mean, wow. Jake Barber, don't go down that road. Holy nightmare, man. Now, another scenario here that is perhaps valid. The current U.S. administration apparently is putting into power several different types of Congress people, of Senate, of Intelligence Committee, of the DOJ, whoever they can, who are pro-disclosure of this UFO phenomenon. Perhaps this idea that Jake Barber and his independent team, with all of their expertise and capabilities and skills in communication, along with the new people involved in the administration who do want UAP disclosure, so involving them, after all, could be valuable, because there is actually something they want to get out to the public, and it would be a best move on their part if they were able to team up with a credible team such as Jake Barber's team. That could be. We know they want to control disclosure. It's slow disclosure. There will be no catastrophic disclosure until the aliens show up. We now know that. Don't hesitate to believe that at all, if there's going to be any kind of disclosure. So there is that option. Now, and again, the Tennessee Republican Congressman Burchett has called Jake Barber a psyop. So we're still not all on the same page, you know. And of course, it's because of his Christian upbringing. He thinks these things are demonic. You know, anything not Christian ends up being demonic, which is just ludicrous. You know, they're skeptical of anything that's not from their particular paradigm. So there's a lot of issues that are going to be confronting us in this year, in the near up and coming future. I would like to voice my opinion and my concern sincerely. Not that I think Jake Barber's ever going to see this, or Ross Coulthart, although I hope they can and do. My personal proposal is, please don't get AARO back involved. We just got rid of them, so to speak. Why would you pull back in government agencies that have been the enemy for 80? That makes no sense. Involve the public, not the government. Why can't you guys see that? I am astonished that this hasn't already happened. I don't mean one or two select, careful chosen, super duper high up wing-ding, public. Get the public involved. We YouTube creators, we have a voice now. It's called social media. Our influence together, if there was 100 or 200 of us all together with our equipment, Julian Dory and Danny Jones and all of us, if we were to all be able to come to a summoning like that, you think of the power of disclosure that would give. Talk about doing a public service. Jake Barber, you would make history. Why not go that direct? Why not involve the public now that we've gotten rid of the government? Oh, for the love of all that is important, don't bring them back in, would be my serious, heartfelt proposal. That it would kill your project. It would kill your project. Ross Coulthart, if you stood behind that and encourage him to let the new era, it would kill your credibility. It'd absolutely wipe you guys clear out. If you do that and it gets stymied, I absolutely pledge right here and now, I will never watch anything you say or do again. So, and I believe in you. I am supportive of you right now. But man, make the right decisions. Gadzooks. Drop the government like a hot potato and let's do this publicly for those of us who want to do it. How many people out there have camera equipment that have been looking into this thing for 60 years who would love to show up to a summoning and get that on video? Get those people involved, not the flippin' AARO office again. No, don't do that. Don't do that. So that's my proposal. Great interview, Ross Coulthart. Thank you, Vinny of Disclosure Team. Outstanding work. I just wanted to put in my 2 cents worth for what it's worth. It's only probably about worth a penny and a half. So anyway, appreciate all of you guys and your support. I'll see you tonight at 6 o'clock. I'll be in the chat session with you. Let's have a good day. I may actually make another video today as well, but this important Ross Coulthart information had to be discussed, and that's why I'm doing it. So appreciate everything everybody in the UFO community is doing, whether you're public about it or not, whether you have a YouTube channel or not, whether you even have a camera or not. Everyone's voice is valuable and needed. So talk to you soon.